can see a picture in the bottom.
Welcome. My name is Carolyn Howell, and I'm the host of our TV network. Today on our Newsmaker series, I'm going to be having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Carolyn Rudd here in Washington, D.C. We're pleased that so many of you can listen and join us for this, listen and view us for this broadcast. Dr. Rudd, welcome.
Thank you so very much for having me today.
Well, I'm especially excited to do this. Washington, D.C., or the DMV, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, is such a vibrant area of women businesses, women business owners, and just powerful people in general. Dr. Rudd is helping us launch our Women in Power series, where we will be interviewing and having conversations with movers and shakers throughout the DMV. I just want to give you a little bit of background information in case you are one of the few who doesn't know who she is. Dr. Carolyn Rudd is the founder and president of CRP Incorporated, a Washington, D.C. multifaceted professional services and management consulting firm. This was established in 1988. Under her stewardship, CRP has evolved into one of the leading small businesses in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area, providing solutions in research, policy assessment, analysis, and program management and support services to federal agencies, the District of Columbia government, institutions of higher education, and nonprofit organizations. So for a small business, they are small but mighty, and small is relative as we've come to know. Dr. Rudd, I'm so pleased to be able to talk to you. You've worked in the District of Columbia and had this business. We're in your expansive office. This has been for more than 30 years, correct?
Yes, that's correct. 33 years to be exact.
Okay, that is wonderful. At a time when so many businesses are struggling and some of the ones that have been long-standing have kind of folded, how is it that you've been able to maintain and actually thrive despite the pandemic?
Yes, sadly, so many businesses, and particularly small businesses, have not survived during COVID. But CRP is very fortunate, and I consider it a blessing that we have been able to strive. We were able to pivot, and we started a new core service, staff augmentation. And so as a result of that, we have been able to hire hundreds of DC residents and really keep CRP doors open.
Wow.
It has been truly a blessing.
Well, it sounds like your company has been a blessing to so many others because it has been a struggle. Workforce development is very, very key to the success of any municipality. And certainly a vibrant city like Washington, D.C. needs to be able to have that. So you've hired hundreds of Washington, D.C. residents, which is a boon of its own. So as a small business, sometimes people get confused. They think, well, small businesses need a whole lot of help. And it's true, many of them do, but it looks like yours is in a position that it's really helping.
Well, there's small and then there's small. Yes, CRP is a small business, but we've had annual sales of in excess of $20 million.
Okay, I need to stop on that. So let's just get small together. In excess of $20 million of annual revenue.
Yes. Okay. And so we are small by U.S. Department of Labor standards because, you can be a small business and have 500 employees. We don't have 500 employees. And I think that CRP's smallness is great because we can do a lot of things and do them well.
Oh, I love that. And you know what? That's very true. When you are small, you're nimble. And because it's easy that they can pick up the phone, someone can pick up the phone or have a meeting with you at the head and get an answer very quickly, as opposed to sometimes there's so much bureaucracy, things get bogged down and slowed down, which is why you're such an interesting woman in power to be interviewing. Now, another thing is you're not content just to grow your own business, but you have a real interest in growing and helping with other businesses, large and small, throughout the region.
Absolutely. I think it's my responsibility as a business owner for 33 years is to help other businesses get their feet wet. I try to work with small, minority, women-owned businesses, young entrepreneurs, because I think that's important. My success is only as good as that helping other businesses to grow. And I think that is so, so critical and so important. I'm going to share a story with you.
Please do.
My grandmother used to say, you see this closed fist? Nothing comes in and nothing goes out. But if
Ooh.
you open your hand, so that has been somewhat of a mantra of mine. Keep an open hand, help others as you grow, others will grow also. So I am very, very interested in growing small businesses, minority owned businesses, women owned businesses, and young entrepreneurs.
Oh, I love that. And you know what? I know this to be very true because we have lots of dealings and working together on a number of things. You sit on a number of boards where you actually put forward some of those initiatives. Right now, how many boards are you sitting on?
Right now, I'm only sitting on two, and there are
Yes.
two powerful boards here in Washington, D.C. I chair the D.C. Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, Workforce Development. You talked about workforce development. That's one of the things that the Chamber is really, really working on. We want to make a difference and make sure that we encourage our members to hire DC residents. You know, the mayor talks all the time about making sure that we can lead the way and make a path for young people to get ahead in life, the path to the middle class, as she quotes unquote says. The second board that I'm on, which I think has a direct tie into the chamber, is the board of the University of the District of Columbia. My office is currently across the street from the University of the District of Columbia.
That's exactly right.
And for almost 30 years, it has been here. I was in two different locations, but I watched that university grow. I have a strong affinity for the University of the District of Columbia. Some of my first hires when I moved to Connecticut Avenue were young people who had just graduated from high school. And they were so elated to be working for an African-American woman who had her own business. They didn't even know I was struggling. And so I said to them, I said, it's great that you are excited about working for me, but I'm more excited about you getting a degree. And so I'm going to offer you a part-time job as long as you go to school over at the University of the District of Columbia. So I've hired about 7 UDC graduates over my 30 plus years. And I also now still reach out to the university when we have job openings. I think it's so very, very important that we include the University of the District of Columbia in our hiring practices.
Wow. I think that says a lot. And oftentimes, let's face it, Washington, D.C., and even the region, we are an area with many dynamic schools that people are flying from all over the country to go to. So not to say anything negative about any of those, because nothing can be said when you consider the caliber of universities here, but considering the graduates of the University of the District of Columbia is really crucial. As a matter of fact, it would be nice if almost every business made it their aim to hire a certain percentage from the University of the District of Columbia. Their programming is highly successful, and they're turning out graduates, and now you're giving them careers.
What I want to share with our audience is that most people do not know that the University of the District of Columbia is the only public institution in this city, and it's a land grant, historically Black college and university. Most people don't know that it's an HBCU.
Okay, I did not know it was an HBCU.
Yes, it
okay,
is.
And I'm
yes,
embarrassed to say that.
And it has a deep, rich history. It's a combination of 3 schools that came together, but a lot of great things are happening at the university. I want to also say thanks to our Mayor Muriel Bowser, and the City Council, because since Mayor Bowser has been in office, she has put a lot of money into the University of the District of Columbia to help us rebuild our infrastructure, and so that we can continue to do great things.
Wow.
There are a lot of successes, a lot of positive things going on at the university. We have doctoral programs, and I know I'm here to talk about CRP, but I cannot talk about CRP without talking about our public institution.
No, we're happy to hear this, because as a woman in power, and that's not a title you gave yourself, that's one that we gave you, because we recognize the things you do. It's important that you let people know the various avenues that can be used, because as business owners, we can choose to interact with, engage with, and hire from the University of the District of Columbia. But that also lets the residents know, don't sleep on that school.
Exactly.
Make that one of the ones that you have on your list.
Absolutely.
When we come back from our break, what we're going to do is talk a little bit more about how you're helping small and women-owned businesses in your role as chairman of the board of directors for the District of Columbia Chamber of Commerce. So everybody stay tuned.
Thank you.
And we're back having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Carolyn Rudd. I was just going to say, I love Carolyn Rudd. Having a wonderful conversation with Dr. Carolyn Rudd. We were talking about so many things. In particular, one of the roles that she has is she sits on the board for the University of the District of Columbia. And we were talking about how critically important it is that business owners in the District of Columbia look there when they're looking to fill positions in their own companies, and also how everybody should be considering it. But I want to switch now to your role as the on the DC Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. She is completed one entire term, if you will, as board chair, and now she's going into her second. We just had our annual meeting just a couple days ago, and that role, why is that so important to you? Because it's a sacrifice to be a board chair.
It is a sacrifice, but I see it as a sacrifice of favor and love.
Ooh.
When I accepted the position as board chair last year during the pandemic,
Absolutely,
on a Zoom call, one of the things that I shared that during my administration, I wanted to make sure that we grew our membership. And we were able to do that. And two of the areas where I saw growth was women in business. I pledged to start a Women in Business Committee, which we have been successful in doing this year. We have a Women in Business Committee that has almost 35 members, financial members. We launched a kickoff, a beautiful kickoff during the pandemic, outside, of course, at one of our members' bed and breakfast facility in Maryland. We did that back in the spring of the year. What we're doing for these women is to provide them with support. Everybody needs support.
Everybody needs
need
support.
that support. You need somebody to keep you lifted. As a matter of fact, the theme of the committee is Lift as We Rise. The Women in Business theme is Lift as We
I
Rise.
love that. I
So
love that.
we're providing support. We're providing technical assistance and training. The Chamber is developing more and more programs so that we can build a stronger community of women-owned businesses in the district. Now, we know that COVID caused us to lose a lot of businesses, but the Chamber was very fortunate. Even though we lost businesses, we were able to bring in approximately 75, and we're hoping at least 80 by the end of the year.
Wow.
New businesses. And many of these are women-owned businesses. So also the Chamber is going to provide support as we find sources of resources and other financial resources, as well as other resources for these businesses, which we are going to do that. Yeah.
And I love the idea of that. And I am a member of the Women in
Yes, you
Business
are.
Committee. I enjoy that so much. The reason why that's important is because we mentioned that businesses are growing. So these are not teeny tiny businesses in infantile state. They're all different lengths of growth, I should say, along the way. But the beauty is when you have that synergy of being able to talk as business owners and to see where the gaps are, that you can support each other. And typically there's somebody that is in a different way on that journey than you are. So the help comes in there. And then just the commonality of the struggles that we've had helps us to be able to move more swiftly towards solutions. So we've had some really inspiring events, and just I will say the networking has led to committee members doing business with each other, referring each other to business. And that's why when I'm thinking about that, certainly we've always needed that. I'm just so glad that despite the pandemic, you were able to see to it that was created and then continue to grow.
Also, one of the things that I pledged to do when I became the chair was to do more business to business among our members. And I think that's very, very important, and particularly important for women-owned businesses. Even though being a woman-owned business, I know that, I've always said to my staff, we're going to do the very, very best and deliver high quality services. But still being a woman, sometimes you have to fight even harder to get the contract and be sure that people understand that your company is as strong as any other company run by, quote unquote, male. So we're there to support these women, provide mentoring for them, and just emotional support. Sometimes you just need someone to just share an idea with or share a concern, and it's important that we do that within that committee.
And typically, those are services that you would have to pay for. So, because the committee was actually developed, that saves resources because now the dollars that you would have used to consult for a particular thing, we're able to trade services or simply trade information. Many businesses, especially when they're new, they don't recognize that, and possibly at their infancy, they don't need an advisory board or even a board. But as they continue to grow, they're going to need to have those keen ears and to have that knowledge and wisdom that you get. So I think what you're providing is wonderful, because we know when women in business do well, everybody does well.
Absolutely.
That is absolutely clear.
And we also know that the women-owned businesses are needed because of the sensitivity in terms of a lot of issues, childcare, the flexibility of having flex time at work, because you do have children, you have a family. So women are a little bit more sensitive, if you will, to those kinds of needs. I'm not saying that companies that are headed by men do not, but women have a tendency to understand those variables a little bit more so than companies that are run by men.
Because they are in your face. Another thing I'm very pleased with is our TV network is so pleased that the District of Columbia Chamber of Commerce will be having their own television show. That chamber, the DC Chamber, has been known as the voice of business for well over 80 years. It's also known for delivering the capital, and that is making sure that the commerce really takes place. So we're pleased that regardless of what that platform looks like, and as you're going to be one of the architects, if you will, behind what the shows will be about, but certainly they will be to help the business community and the community at large.
I'm very excited about the Chamber having its own TV show. And during the holidays, I'm going to be talking with our president. I'm going to be talking with our executive committee. I've mentioned it to several of the executive committee members already. I think that was on our agenda the last time we had a meeting. And we're going to look at whether it means a monthly program segment to begin with, or quarterly. But I think we have enough content material, if you will. You know, we have 7 committees.
Absolutely.
That we can schedule a session with each of those committees and the committee chairs. We have 1,000 members of the DC Chamber, small and large, that we can highlight these members. And particularly during this time of COVID, many of them need advertising and marketing. And I see this as just the perfect opportunity to do that for them.
You know what, and that's a wonderful thing. Oftentimes we see that social media has taken off. I mean, it was already around, but once COVID hit, it became a forum for people to advertise their businesses and services. But to be on a television platform is even better. When I consider the fact that through the DC Chamber of Commerce and in other ways, our TV network is going to be highlighting businesses, showcasing businesses, really providing them with an opportunity to talk about what makes them wonderful, what makes them great, and what makes them think that you would be their ideal customer. We're excited to be able to do that. And in conjunction, that's going to be a tremendous value add for everyone that joins the DC Chamber.
Absolutely. We were very, very excited at our annual meeting that the Comcast regional vice president was our guest speaker. One of our committee chairs, Stacy Burnett, I'm calling out names.
Yes, please do.
Did a great job. And they presented about 20 of their RISE program recipients, and they're all businesses located here in the district. So we want to spotlight them. The Chamber is going to put together a program to give them free membership for a year. We're going to make sure that Ms. Howell has them on her program. Absolutely. So they can talk about the great and wonderful things that they're doing. So the Chamber's partnership with our larger organizations and businesses like Comcast is a great benefit to all of our businesses, and particularly our small businesses. And we're grateful for our circle partners and other businesses in the district for your assistance.
And I love that. And I think about the circle partners. Those are the partners that really, they are foundational to the success of so much of the programming that the DC Chamber of Commerce does. When you think about commerce, that is the cha-ching that we're all trying to make happen. So, and I was there to hear from some of those Comcast RISE winners. it was emotional even for me,
Exactly.
because it wasn't that they were wishing you well and you were going to go on. This was a comprehensive program of what they intended
Yeah.
to do, but to literally put cold hard cash in their hands was tremendous. And then to see that regional president there, as well as some of the members who are on the board of directors of the DC Chamber of Commerce, come up and speak about it, that's when you realize that an organization is putting their efforts behind and the money right exactly where it needs to be. So we're excited about that.
One of the other things that we're excited about, things just happened. The annual meeting was a wonderful gathering. Last year we did it on a platform, but this year was just great to see so many of our friends, almost 300 people gathered safely and had a great time. The chair of the Small Business Committee came to me and said, "Oh, guess what? I would love to see all of the RISE grantees become members of the chamber through our new champion program." The Small Business Committee, working with the membership committee, started a champion program this year. It resulted from the Women in Business Committee, because I provided free membership to all of the individuals who attended that luncheon who wanted to become a member of the chamber. So as a result of that, the Small Business Committee said, that's a great idea. So we're going to formalize that into a program that we're calling the Champion Program, where we're going to be given membership to selected groups of individuals. And so the RISE participants will be our next group of businesses in the city, small businesses in the city, that we will give membership. I reached out to several of them that gave me their card on Wednesday, and they were just so excited.
Well, I'm telling you.
So I told them, stay tuned. We'll be in touch in January.
And we absolutely will. So Dr. Carolyn Rudd, thank you for being on our Women in Power series. You are a champion. You are making other people champions. And if people want to get in touch with her, her company is CRP Incorporated here in Washington, D.C. She is truly a woman in power and a newsmaker. We thank you all for listening and for watching. And everybody stay safe. Until next time, this is Carolyn Howe with
Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome. My name is Carolyn Howell, and I'm the executive producer of the Caribbean Food Network, the newest and the most fabulous way to eat, drink, and think. Food, fun, anything culinary, travel, tourism, you name it, we're it. Right now, I'm standing in Cookology, or at least one of the Cookologies. Cookology is a fabulous recreational and professional way to learn how to cook. And isn't that what we all want to do? Eating is how we keep going. So in a minute, I'm going to introduce you to Maria. Maria is the founder and the owner of Cookology. We're so excited about our partnership and what the Caribbean Food Network is going to do. We can't wait for you to see. So sit tight.
Hey everyone, welcome to Cookology Culinary School. This is our location in Boston Quarter. We have been here since 2019. We have another one in Doylestown Center. We've been there since 2009. We've been in business for 13 whole years, aside from the pandemic, which I did a lot of sleeping. But here we are. You want to look in? This is what you see when you come by Boston Quarter. It's fun. It's fun. It's potential fun. Everybody is looking to do something with their friends and family. So here's the front door. Follow the sign.